Good afternoon, everybody. I'm your host, Crystal, and this is another edition of the 9 O'clock Meltdown podcast. And over phone, I have the very talented and oh so beautiful Sonja, who is the lead of Feeding Leroy. Hello.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Yes, finally. I think I've tried to get you guys on the show for several years now, and now it's just finally come to fruition.
Well, I know, now that we work next door to each other.
Exactly, yes. Yes. I am in the Caribou coffee shop that is next door to your outfit there, so we see each other on a pretty frequent basis.
I know, and speaking of coffee, I'm having a cup of coffee and I'm sitting in the sauna at work. It's not on, but it's a good little booth.
I was going to say, ooh, what a relaxing afternoon. I'm in my apartment here, and I've got a cup of coffee as well, so excellent.
Beautiful.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. And now, Sonja, you are the lead of Feeding Leroy. You guys have been around for, many years now, longer than I've been around here in Duluth. You've got several albums out, several EPs. I think the first time I saw you guys perform was probably at Homegrown, probably back in 2009.
And a while ago.
Yes, yeah. Your music just struck me because it's really folky, really acoustic, but then you've got like these really smooth, almost jazz-like vocals on top of it. And I just get, every time I see you guys, I just get transfixed into your lyrics and kind of how you guys operate. So let's jump into Feeding Leroy.
Oh, well, thanks for that. Yeah, so I would say, myself and Lee kind of share the lead roles because we both write the music. So sometimes he's leading a song, sometimes I am leading a song. And things have we've grown and evolved over the years for sure. And I think I've kind of taken on a leadership role in the sense of I'll put the song list together and I'll kind of lead the show and kind of lead the banter in between songs because I feel like sometimes that's a necessary thing to kind of keep a show rolling. So it's been fun to kind of take on that role and just ham things up for fun because I like to do that. And it's been fun to take on that leadership role. It's been fun for me.
Excellent. And now, how did the band come about?
Oh boy. So
I know, reaching back.
It's been a while. Lee and I started playing together. He had already kind of had his own bands and projects. So when him and I met and got together, I kind of jumped into things he was doing. I don't know if you were around for the days. We used to do Wednesdays at Carmody for 4 years or something. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of cutting my chops a little bit, playing with him and Blaze and Frank and Joey and Mario. We would just do late night jams and then Feeding Leroy kind of took on its own thing when Lee's brother Luke moved home from out west and kind of wanted to pursue music more than what he was doing. And then Adam, Stopey, and Lee had been playing bar bands for years, so he just filled it on the upright, which it was nice having an upright bass instead of electric. Just kind of fits that folky scene more, but so we've all known each other for a long time, and the four of us just kind of solidified our thing a few years back.
Perfect. And now, the name, Feeding Leroy, it's got a really nice ring to it. How did that come about?
Doesn't it? Well, yeah, we were calling ourselves Next of Kin, and it was me and Lee and Marios and Wally Whedon. That was the foursome that started. Mm-hmm. And then as things morphed and changed, and we adopted our dog, Leeroy, and he didn't come with that name, but we named him Leeroy, and Lee thought that the act of feeding him was kind of funny when we first got him because we would make him, to train him, we would make him, sit and wait for his food, but he would just drool as a faucet turned on,
Oh, yeah.
And so Lee just thought Feeding Leroy, that's funny. And he was like, hey, that's kind of an interesting thing. So Lee came up with that, and I was like, that's got a perfect ring to it. And it really has been such a perfect name for us. And I think sometimes people, they kind of interpret it how they want to. And sometimes I think of I don't know, there's a lot of Leroys out there. It's kind of a funny name, but people have a lot of stories around Leroys that I've learned over the years. And now that our pooch passed on, I mean, he's still that essence of just I don't know, he's a good thing. He's a good feeling. And feeding that good feeling is kind of how I've interpreted it these days.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear about your pooch, but he
Yeah,
definitely lives on with the name and the band.
I know. Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah, yeah. How have you guys been faring COVID at all? I've seen a lot of musicians around town do live streams and things like that, or have you guys just kind of ridden it out?
Yeah, we definitely were doing live streams when that was really the only option. I mean, in the darkness of those early days, definitely was a way to reach out. I know, Lee was doing late night stuff from the basement, which was funny at times. He definitely had a little late night following, and we did some really nice, well produced live streams. We did one from a winery over in Iron River, and we did a bent paddle and Cedar Lounge, which was nice to have people that knew what they were doing behind the camera to make it look and sound nice. And some of my favorites were working with Daniel Benoit. He's the embassy. He's just like a master behind the screen. And we did some fun stuff kind of down. There's a space that some friends work at down by the water kind of. So we were doing that. Lee and I snuck away in October. We drove down to Texas just to go camp out and kind of get out of town. We've got friends down there that just sit around the campfire and just play tunes. So that was kind of a nice little respite and just a way to be around people outside while it was warm down there.
Yeah.
But we kind of, now things obviously have been back at it for a while here and hit the ground running. Definitely hitting it. There's been some festivals this summer that have been really fun. We're in a little bit of a lull right now, just taking time to kind of prep for other things. But September, we've got a handful of shows that'll kind of send us off on our way. Lee and I are going to take off for the majority of fall, winter, and spring of this next year. We're going to post up near San Antonio.
Oh, nice. So are you guys aren't leaving the Northland, but you're taking a break?
We're going to take a little break. Yeah, we'll probably come back next summer. We're just going to go take the opportunity to gig down there while the gigging's good. So it'll be a little bit of a change because we're leaving the boys behind. Luke and Adam will be up here doing their stuff, and we're just going to go kind of play our songs down south for a while. We've kind of made a little bit of made some friends and a little following down there. So I feel like we've got an audience to play to down there. We've got some connections. So we're just going to go play while we can down there.
Fabulous. Well, I'm glad you guys are getting out while you can, but I'm glad to hear that you're not abandoning Duluth altogether.
No, gosh, no. Keep my roots here. It's too nice here.
Good to hear. Sonia, that's absolutely fabulous that you've been able to grow your following and your base, especially down south, too. You kind of hear about people just growing their base maybe on the Iron Range or over in the Dakotas. But no, that's fabulous that you've been able to reach all the way down to Texas. That's really cool.
I mean, it's been an intentional, we started going down there to hang out, and we love it. Every time we go, we love it, and we want to stay. And people have been really receptive to our music down there, and so it's just one of those things, let's just go see what it feels like to stay for months at a time now, and just, it's a fun scene, and I just think that, if anything, if we decide we want to just come back after, a few months, great, or we might decide that we want to continue to gig down there and kind of make that a spot that we hang out in some of the year.
Nice. So then you'll get summer year round.
Right. As long as we can handle it.
Now I'm slightly jealous because I just bought a house up here and now I feel like I can't do that.
Well, I bought a house up here too, and I'm going to try to use it to my advantage of I want to stay. I want to have my roots here still until I decide I don't, or I don't know, something else changes. But I want to own that home and invest in that home still, and then we're going to rent it out. And if we want to come back to it, at least we've got that. Because as you know, y'all know the housing market's crazy. I don't want to leave and buy back into it where it's at now. And
right.
So I'm happy that I do have my little spot here because I think this area is so desirable.
Right, definitely. Yeah, and speaking of that, side tangent here, but yes, we, meaning Duluth, has definitely seen an uptick in people moving here and people buying properties here, and yeah, Speaking from someone who spent the last year and a half home searching,
Yeah.
and I finally bought one. Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a whirlwind of a year.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
I'm sure it's nuts, but hey, congrats. That's
Thank
huge.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, now Duluth is stuck with me.
Right? That's a good place to be.
It is. It is a good place to be. Now, Sonja, Feeding Leroy has definitely made an impact here in the Duluth music scene, and it sounds like you've also made an impact down south as well. What is coming up for Feeding Leroy? I mean, besides you and Lee going on your vacation, your extended vacation, I should say. Do you have any EPs, any songs, any albums in the works?
We do, and we're kind of true to our fashion. We just take things slow, but we did a little bit of recording last summer up at Rich Matson's place up in Sparta, and mostly just kind of laid down some demos that we're working with. So there's stuff in the works. I have a feeling that once we get to Texas, there's some studios that we want to check out down there, that people we've met that have studios, and I would love to, but I imagine we'll just kind of, the way I see other artists doing stuff now, it's like, we could, put one song out and kind of promote that, or put a few songs out at a time. But we definitely, Lee and I have been writing this last year or so, and we've got some songs that need to get out there. And definitely, like, once we started performing and playing those new songs, they've kind of solidified in our set list, and it's like time to put something out. So I imagine this next year we'll be laying down some new tracks and try to get that stuff out into the world and see where that takes us.
Yeah, fabulous. Wonderful to hear. And I was going to say, to your comment of, singles and a few songs at a time, that's definitely the digital age.
Totally. And I feel like it's fine. I like putting out albums, but you don't always have to. And sometimes maybe just to keep people engaged, you put something out, you put a single out and call it good.
Right. Fabulous.
I would love to work with someone, and I know you and I have talked about this in the past. I would love to put out some sort of visual, like a video, and so something that can be promoted and shared, and that I love when people put out music videos, because you get that much more invested into it, and there's great visuals that go with it, and it's a product all its own that can, that can be a great way to put out a new song too.
Right. Fabulous. Yes, I've
I'd
definitely
love to do
noticed
something like that.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed a lot of artists doing that these days, where they kind of tease music, but then they'll tease it with a snippet of the music video as well. So that's kind of cool. I'm very excited to see where you guys take it. Maybe do some filming down in Texas?
Yeah, I would love to. I'm just, I'm excited to see where this all leads. With I'm in a position where, like, I'm going to leave my job, and we're going to leave our home and just kind of see where the wind takes us a little bit. And if we've got the time and the means to kind of put more into this project, I think it'll be fun to see where it takes us,
Yeah, excellent, Sonja. Oh, I'm really excited for you and Lee now. That sounds amazing. Thanks. So you'll have to keep me updated with Instagram.
Yeah, well, always.
Yes. And you actually don't have Facebook.
I'm not personally on there. It started to bother me.
Oh.
I don't feel like it's all that user-friendly anymore.
Very true. It's now very opinion-based, which I guess it always was, but yeah, I agree. I get it.
Yeah, I just think it's harder to find the stuff you're looking for. I mean, I miss the days living in Duluth. I miss the little date or the weekly thing we had to find out.
The transistor.
The transistor, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's where I'm at. I'm like, I need like a concrete thing that tells me what's going on in town.
Yep. Nope. I completely agree. I miss the transistor as well. And another little tangent for people. So the transistor was a weekly pamphlet that would be printed for free and just be distributed throughout the Northland. And it was just 9-point font and like 3 or 4 columns on every single page. And it would just
get
tell
little snippets, little essays,
Yep.
find out where all the cool stuff's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would just tell you who was playing what and where and when and how much. And yeah, it was nice.
I know. Google Most had a good run. We're proud of him.
Yes. Very proud. Very proud to be part of the Northland here.
I know.
All right. So, Sonia, you and Lee are going to travel down to Texas, do some recording, play some gigs down there, kind of see where the wind takes you. You had mentioned that you went to Rich Matson's studio, Sparta Sound. How did that come about, and how was your time there?
We always love going there. We've Feeding Leroy, and even before we were Feeding Leroy, we recorded an album as Next of Kin up there, but we've done all our recording up there. As far as like the albums that we've put out, they've always been up at Rich's. I can't say enough good stuff about Rich Matson and Jermaine. They live there, they open their home and their studio to artists coming through. They're up on the range. It's very peaceful. There's a lot of history to that area, but it's basically a mining town that is no more, and they're kind of one of the last few standing up there. But they bought a couple churches that stand next to each other, and one of them's a studio, and I think that we just have similar musical tastes as Rich, so it's easy to work with him. He's super awesome. Just very direct, and he'll tell you, hey, let's try that one again, like just go for it again. He doesn't shy away from giving good direction during a session. I feel like we've always been pretty productive up there and have a good time, and he often will mix it for us, and yeah, he's just the best. We've had some really good times. One of my favorites being, I don't know how long ago this was, maybe 2017, when we were working on our Monument Valley album, and we invited a couple Texans up. Laura played fiddle on our album, and her boyfriend at the time, Patrick, were up there, and it was literally 40 below in Duluth and the Iron Range, and they're from Texas. We had to hook them up with down coats and mittens and wool, and we were recording up at Rich's and taking a walk in the 40 below nighttime air to go stretch our legs. And Rich still had the Christmas tree up, and Kyle Keegan was there. We just had the best little camp out with those guys, and it was blistering cold out, but their place is also cozy and warm, and it was just the best.
Fabulous. And Sonia, you're not the only one that's recorded at Sparta Sound. I've interviewed plenty of artists here, and I've talked to plenty of my friends that have recorded there as well. It sounds like a really magical place, like this little niche-y spot that almost everybody goes to at least once, and magic just happens.
Well, they've created such a good thing, and Rich has so much experience under his belt as a player and a recording artist. Engineer. So yeah, he's got a solid thing up there for sure.
Fabulous. Would you go back up to Sparta Sound to release another album?
Oh, definitely. That's what we were at this summer. I'd go back there. Anytime, every time.
All right. Excellent, Sonia. Excellent. So you and Lee are going to travel down to Texas. You've got some music in the works. You got some new music coming out here. What else is happening for Feeding Leroy?
That's kind of it. We'll see what takes shape this next year. We'll definitely be gigging around with Laura Leem. She plays fiddle. She's a big reason why we want to be in Texas. We're just hoping to meet other players that just want to gig while we're down there. So I'm just hoping that we can stay busy down south and kind of see what doors open. There's lots of fun spots, lots of honky tonks, lots of cool backyard patios and stuff to play down there, and I'm excited to just kind of pick up and be busy again.
Yeah, I think all of us are. I'm definitely happy with my new job that keeps me busy, and I finally found a house, and so yeah, after a year of pretty much doing nothing.
Right? I know. It was kind of jarring to get back to busy again, but
yeah,
I'm happy for it.
Good. Sonia, it was so fabulous to talk to you and to finally have you on the show. Thank you so much. I wish you and Lee the best of luck down in Texas. Definitely keep me posted on new music, new sounds, new videos that are coming out for you guys. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Oh, thanks, Crystal. Appreciate it.
Yep, Sonia of Feeding Leroy. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
These days gone by, well, I'm still sitting here. Look out my window and I'll keep out the fear about leaving and taking that ride. Is it really green on the other Look out my window.